Shalom, my friends. Welcome to this week's newscast. You know, it's been known in the nuclear arms community for the last 6 years that Iran has secured enough enriched U-235 for the creation of a first-generation implosion bomb. The construction of an actual bomb small enough to be dropped from a transport plane or carried by a fishing trawler or small freighter has been judged to be available since 2010. And figures from the Wisconsin Project on Nuclear Arms Control point to Iran having had the ability to create 7 bombs if the enrichment of uranium was brought to 90%. The Wisconsin Project stated last month that Iran could produce enough enriched uranium for 1 bomb by this coming month of May. That's about 4 weeks or so from now. Tehran's regional rivals have already begun quietly acting on their own atomic ambitions, and the list now includes Egypt, Turkey, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. With Iran moving closer to a deal with world powers, Arab analysts are focused more on how Tehran is working unconstrained to create a new Persian and Shiite empire on Arab land. Iran is certainly taking an offensive stance, and with a winning hand in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. Turning to wars and rumors of wars, on Wednesday, March 25th, American planes began airstrikes against ISIS positions in Tikrit, joining a stalled offensive to retake the Iraqi city as American officials sought to seize the initiative from Iran, which had taken a major role in directing the operation. Further, the Army of Conquest combined the forces of al-Qaeda allies from the Nusra Front with the powerful Ahrar al-Sham faction and several smaller Islamist groups. The new coalition launched a joint offensive to take the capital of Idlib province, shelling the outskirts of the strategic city and detonating at least 2 car bombs at army checkpoints in their push toward the urban areas. Saudi Arabia and Gulf region allies have launched military operations, including airstrikes in Yemen, to counter Iran-allied forces besieging the southern city of Aden, where the Yemeni president had taken refuge. Rebel forces captured parts of the port city of Aden and a nearby Yemeni air base. Yemen has always played a peripheral role in the Bible, in the rise of Islam, and in modern times. It's never been the focus of world concern until suddenly now. And Yemen resembles other what used to be marginal countries like Korea, Cuba, Vietnam, and Afghanistan, which out of nowhere have become the focus of global concern. Also last Wednesday, reports came in saying that Egypt's Ministry of Electricity and Energy cut power to areas in southern Gaza last week due to outstanding debts owed by a Palestinian utility company. And Israeli border police discovered a pipe bomb near their guard station at the Cave of the Patriarchs in Hebron. Then on Friday, March 27th, Islamic Jihad, a loyal Iranian proxy, is gaining strength in the West Bank. Also emerging is the Fatah Tanzim, which was once a dominant terrorist group during the years of the Second Intifada. More on Tikrit, the commander of Iraq's military operations in Salahuddin province, reported that government forces launched the final phase of an offensive to recapture the Islamic State-held city of Tikrit. Then on Saturday, March 28th, more on Idlib. Syrian rebel groups seized the city of Idlib. On Sunday, March 29th, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in his address to the cabinet on Sunday, made a very important statement. Quote, "After the Beirut-Damascus-Baghdad axis, Iran is carrying out a pincer movement in the south as well in order to take over and conquer the entire Middle East. The Iran-Lausanne-Yemen axis is very dangerous for humanity and needs to be stopped." Close quote. Turning to America, there's a bit of a wildfire blazing on the internet lately called the Jade Helm 2015 Unconventional Warfare Exercises. The U.S. Army's Special Operations Command document says that there is to be an 8-week joint military and interagency unconventional warfare exercise, which will be conducted throughout Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado. 7 states. According to briefs given to county officials in Texas, there will be more than 1,200 people deployed in Texas alone. This map shows the national geography of the exercise, with the status of the states reflected as friendly, hostile, or leaning towards hostile or friendly, including a pocket of insurgents on the southern border of California. The red areas, hostile. Blue, permissive. Brown, uncertain, leaning hostile. Light blue, uncertain, leaning friendly. Unconventional warfare is a term that refers specifically to assisting insurgencies in denied areas, and that means areas where forces do not have conventional access and therefore have to insert and sustain themselves by unconventional means. The participants, what does all this mean? The participants who operate in the red areas of the map will, therefore, be sneaking around as if they were trying to be unseen. That is, at least unidentifiable, meaning that some will be wearing civilian clothing and driving civilian vehicles. This so-called exercise will begin on July 15th and continue through September 15th with the Green Berets, the Marines, the Navy SEALs, and the 82nd Airborne Division. And so, what on earth is the purpose of this so-called exercise? And why is it that Texas and Utah are classified as hostile territories? Is it possible that this is some sort of response to Russian combat preparedness drills? Could the U.S. be preparing to engage Russians on American soil? Or might the U.S. be getting ready for some sort of widespread citizen unrest in the fall of 2015? Could it be that they are anticipating an economic event relating to the American dollar collapsing? Some who are in the know are saying that this will not be an exercise, but rather the real thing, and that they are focusing on the West because that's where the strongest resistance to Obama surrendering to a new world order ultimatum would be. Adding fuel to the fire. Just 2 weeks ago, Ronald Reagan's budget director, David Stockman, said that the world economic system is in its crack-up phase. And a recent Washington Times headline read, "Diplomatic Disaster. Obama humiliated by allies rush to join China's new bank." Now that's referring to the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. The Chinese government owns half of this Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, which is being financed with $50 billion and is part of China's vision for a post-dollar world. China and the BRICS nations, that's B-R-I-C-S nations, that's nations which have been supporting the American dollar, are jumping ship to join this bank. Great Britain was the first American ally to sign on as a founding member. France, Germany, and Italy were close behind the UK just last week. Then Luxembourg joined, and 32 more nations, including Japan, Korea, and the Philippines, are expected to jump aboard fairly soon. And also, I would say to you, my friends, don't let this military exercise that's going to be happening from July 15th through September 15th, don't let it get you all riled up. Don't start freaking out, conspiracy theories. We don't know what to expect. We'll find out as it ensues. Chances are it'll be a lot less than, hopefully, it'll be a lot less than what some people are afraid it may be. But don't get worked up about it. There's nothing you can do to prepare for these things other than pitch your tent with Elohim. Get your relationship with your Creator on track. Have daily meetings with your Father, your Creator. Talk to Him about everything that's on your mind. Ask Him for His counsel and His direction, and then watch for it. And regular conversations with Him will balance your life out like nothing else. And that's the newscast for this week, my friends. Abba willing, I'll see you here next week. Until then, stay safe. Shalom.
Crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath the naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.